This is the entrance to Brompton Cemetery. Brompton Cemetery is next to Stamford Bridge, the home ground of Chelsea Football Club, and is one of the magnificent seven Victorian graveyards surrounding London. Brompton, Kensal Green, Highgate, Abney Park, Tower Hamlets, Nunhead and West Norwood form the Magnificent Seven. The graveyards were designed to create more space for burials, as local parish graveyards were becoming overcrowded as London grew in population and cremation was not yet popular. Deep inside Brompton Cemetery you can find this imposing mausoleum, a tomb shrouded in mystery, supposedly containing the remains of Hannah Courtoy and 2 of her daughters, and also a working time machine. First, we need to look at who was Hannah Courtoy. Born Hannah Peters in 1784, Hannah Courtoy was born into poverty. Not much is known about her early life, but she became a popular socialite on the London scene. She did have 3 illegitimate daughters, Mary Ann, Elizabeth and Susanna, but this did not seem to affect her social standing. Despite this potential scandal, she was involved with a much older man, a merchant by the name of John Courtoy. They never married, but she took his surname and was named in his will as his majority beneficiary and inherited his substantial estate when he died in 1815. The rumour was that he was the father of her 3 daughters, and this would make sense that he would leave most of his wealth to her. After his death, she became close friends with a renowned Egyptologist named Joseph Bonomi. Bonomi had made lengthy studies of the beliefs of the ancient Egyptian Pharaohs and became convinced that they had worked out the secrets of time travel. Bonomi was obsessed by this concept and was desperate to see if he could replicate and advance their primitive technology and achieve time travel himself. He needed someone who was an engineer and an inventor and who was open-minded about such ideas. And this is where Samuel Warner comes in. Samuel Warner was an inventor of naval weapons, although whilst his experiments with the Royal Navy were given attention at the time, he is now largely dismissed as a fake and a con man. One of Warner's interests was in teleportation, and one of his supposed inventions was a psychic torpedo, a missile that could be transported long distances in just a few seconds. He demonstrated this, amongst other inventions, over several occasions in the 1840s to the Royal Navy and the British Prime Minister, and managed to destroy some target ships, although the actual method of the destruction, whether it was his psychic torpedo or some other form of sabotage, was never cleared up. The Navy certainly never bought into his inventions after studying his claims, and Warner refused to reveal any of his secrets unless he was paid £200,000 for each invention, a colossal sum of money, equivalent to over £20 million in 2022. Unsurprisingly, the Navy refused and ended the experiments. So with Bonomi's theories from studying the ancient Egyptians and Samuel Warner's technical know-how, however suspect that may be, there was only one thing missing from their time travel experiments: funding. They turned to Bonomi's good friend Hannah Courtoy, who shared her friend's interest in Egyptology, and with her financial support they supposedly built their time machine and placed it inside this mausoleum, which Hannah intended as her final resting place. They chose a cemetery to locate the time machine, as it was the one place they could guarantee it would be undisturbed over the centuries, and they could be assured that as they happily travelled through time, they would always be sure that their return would be to the same location. The tomb itself is of a strange design, 20 feet high, made of stone with metal doors and Egyptian hieroglyphics on the metalwork. There is also a clock-like symbol, a circular hole surrounded by 8 smaller holes, furthering the claim of it being a time machine. There are no blueprints of the tomb in the cemetery records, and sadly the key has been lost for decades. The last key holder was a distant relative of Hannah Courtoy, and it is not known how long it has been since the doors were last opened. Both Bonomi and Warner are buried in Brompton Cemetery, near to their invention, and if you look closely at the headstone on Bonomi's grave, you can see a depiction of the tomb at the bottom. However, there seems to be some dispute as to whether it is a time machine or a teleportation device. There is a big difference after all. Given Warner's naval experiments, there have been other rumours that he was less inclined to build a time machine and more a teleportation device. He may have had ideas to create a method of transportation, moving between similar tombs in the magnificent 7 cemeteries around London in the blink of an eye. Warner was always more about making money than the advancement of scientific knowledge, and would always have in the back of his mind the commercial applications of his inventions. There is even a mystery surrounding the death of Samuel Warner. He supposedly died in 1853, shortly before the tomb was installed. There are some theories that he didn't die, but vanished during one of his experiments on the time machine. Others say that he was murdered by Bonomi over a disagreement about what to do about their discoveries. There has also been the rumour that the tomb is an access point to a tunnel that leads from London into a similar tomb in a Paris graveyard, but that's just too far-fetched. I prefer the theory of it being a time machine. There are also a number of unanswered questions regarding the tomb. If the tomb was only installed in 1854, and Hannah Courtoy died in 1849, where was her body for 5 years? And when her daughters died, the tomb must have been opened to place the bodies inside. Did anybody have a look to see if there was a time machine in there? What happened to the key? Before the key went missing, did nobody open the tomb to find out what is really inside? Or maybe they did, and also disappeared. Let me know in the comments the theory you think is most likely. Is it A, a time machine, B, a teleportation device, C, the entrance to a tunnel to Paris, D, it's just a weird tomb, what's all the fuss about, or E, your own theory? I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and check out the other videos on the Offbeat London channel.